Welcome back in, sports fans, to another episode of the 2315 Sports Show. We are on episode 35. Nice, good number. 35 episodes in, still football heavy. We had college football kickoff last weekend, had some crazy stuff happen. Not so good stuff happen as well for some teams. And then starting tonight, we are recording Thursday, and actually, I think it's in a rain delay right now, but the NFL is back with the Chiefs in Baltimore. So
Praise
we'll
the
get
Lord.
in. Yes, sir. We'll get into that a little later because I know they are in a rain delay. So that's kind of good for us. We get to catch most of it after the show. So I do this week have some picks for you. I did some today,
Okay.
and they're actually for tonight's game. So I'm on underdog. So I just do higher or lowers because Wisconsin's behind the times in that. So I'm heavy on the Chiefs tonight, even though I'll give you my prediction
Okay.
a little later in the show. We got Travis Kelce higher than a half rushing or receiving touchdown. So he's going to get a touchdown tonight. I got full faith in that. I got Isaiah Pacheco, same thing, higher than a touchdown or half a touchdown, which if he gets a touchdown, we're good. And I got Patty Mahomes higher than 270 and a half yards, passing yards. I think he's
Okay.
going to have a decent game. Even though it's pouring down rain, I think it's a pop-up. Should be fine. And then the only Baltimore player I have is Derrick Henry, higher than half rushing or receiving touchdown. I think he's going to run one in. So $5, I think pays like $41. So that's what I'm
Okay.
running on the underdog fantasy or underdog higher or lowers tonight. So we'll see. Hopefully I'm $40 richer
Nice.
tomorrow.
Well, yeah, that'd be awesome. So, and hopefully it hits for you, and you get, like you said, $40 richer. So, I've got a couple. Um, I don't have any parlays, but I have picks and prayers. But a couple picks that I had down. Let's see. Um, let's see. Oh, well, shoot, I said I did, and I can't even get it pulled up here. I was slow getting it going.
Slacking.
Yeah.
Slacking on your pick.
Okay, so my pick is I'm going to pick my Patriots plus 8.5 versus at the Bengals. So I don't necessarily think they're going to win, but I'm going to take them 8.5. I think it'll be a touchdown or less game. So no blowout there.
Okay.
And then as far as my prayer goes, let's see here. As my prayer goes, Super Bowl winner that I had earlier in that we talked about the other day is the Bengals at plus 1,500.
Ooh.
So they are for odds. They have the seventh best odds, but for plus 1,500, I'll take that all day. So put a cool, $10 on that. Try to win a little bit of money. So
Yeah.
let's see.
Stick around later.
We'll see
in
what
the year,
happens.
find out.
Yeah, and the odds may go up and down, but they got Jamar Chase back at practice, so I think they have a good shot to make it.
Yeah, that's huge, I think. So that's the picks, parlays, and prayers. We're kind of probably going to start bringing it back a little bit now that football started. It's a little. I tried baseball. I sucked at it, and I love baseball. It's too unpredictable for me.
It is.
Basketball was a little better. Actually, I did very well in basketball. So we'll see how football goes. I didn't do so hot over the weekend, but I had some pretty crazy, like 8-pick parlays in there. So I figured I wasn't going to. They were kind of more prayers. But speaking of this past weekend, we had college football kickoff. Even though it technically kicked off, like we said, 2 weeks ago in Ireland, but this was the big everyone played. Kind of one of the better weekends in the sports calendar. So I broke it down. We're going to do best performances for player and teams and biggest letdowns performance by player and team. So we'll start with the teams.
Yeah.
Who do you think had the best performance team wise this week?
Uh, honestly, it's hard. It's hard to pick them because they
Yeah.
are the best team in the country,
Okay.
the consensus. But Georgia, Georgia was the most over. Like they just look like the best team in football, playing a top 25 team, 14 Clemson, and just come in and dominated them. They got
Mm-hmm.
off to a little bit of a slow start, but once they got it going, it was on. And their true freshman running back, he's the real deal as well. So Georgia dominated that game. And to be honest, I don't. There were a lot of other teams like Ole Miss played really well. 76-0, I believe, but
Yeah.
didn't really play a formidable opponent. Um, some others, but Georgia to me was the best team out there, hands down.
Yeah. Yeah, I would agree with it. I figured you were going to say that, so I will go a different route. There wasn't really, like you said, there wasn't really big games this week. There were a couple, but not huge. I actually, I think I got to give it to the Miami Hurricanes. They looked
Yeah.
incredible, honestly. Um,
Yes.
Shout out to one of our followers on TikTok, the rainy day pod out there. They're big Miami boys. So, but I watched it and they looked damn good, like
Yeah.
convincingly at the Swamp in a huge rivalry game. So,
Yeah.
again, not a ranked,
Championship contenders.
yeah, not a ranked game for the both of them, but they really showed up and showed out. So, just to go a little different than Georgia, I would say you are right. Georgia had the most dominating to a worthy opponent, but Miami showed up and kicked ass. So
Yeah,
I wouldn't be
absolutely.
surprised, like you said, championship contender right off week one, beating Florida that bad at home or at Florida. Sorry. Um, so with that, you have the other end of it. Biggest letdown performance. I have a couple on this one.
Biggest letdown. Yeah. Yeah. So biggest letdown performance for me, and so one of them is a coach
Mm,
versus the whole team because we know for coach Tyson Helton, head coach of the Western Kentucky football team,
mm-hmm.
went with the wrong guy as the starting quarterback. Not saying they would have beat Alabama in any other way, but when you start games with 2 picks, should have been 3 or possibly 4, TJ
Yeah.
Finley is not the guy.
Nope.
Played at uh, Auburn, and then I
Yep.
believe he played at another SEC school, LSU,
Mm-hmm.
and then transfers to Western. They're like, oh, we got an SEC guy. We have to have him. He was not good at
Nope.
all. Caden Veltenkamp last year got you 8 wins, I think, and you
Mm-hmm.
were a good team.
Mm-hmm.
Like you made the wrong choice. Get your guy back in the starting lineup. Forget TJ Finley. He is not him.
Yep.
But team wise, Oregon is my biggest letdown. They didn't lose, but they were my championship pick,
Mm-hmm.
and only win 24-14 versus Idaho. We were sitting in the bed watching it, and my wife was like, "It'd be cool if Idaho beat them." I was like, "It would be
No, it
cool,
wouldn't.
but they better not because I picked Oregon to win the championship." So they played awful. Um, but I think they'll get it going. But for now, that they were my biggest letdown of the weekend.
Okay. All right. I was actually going to go that route too because I think they should have been one of those 50, 60 to nothing or to 10 games, and they weren't.
Yeah.
Um, like I said, I have a couple. So they were 2 and 3 were the same game against each other. Notre Dame and Texas A&M was the worst
Yes.
ranked game I have ever seen in my life. It and I don't know why. Like I don't know if it was because Texas A&M defense was really good, so was Notre Dame. So I don't know if that's
Yeah.
why, but both those quarterbacks suck. Like I, I mean, and the kid from Duke, that he was at Notre Dame, he came from Duke, was actually good at Duke.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you should have got way better going to Notre Dame, a whole lot better actually. And just to neither quarterback threw a touchdown pass. Both of them costed me hitting my big parlay. Just them. That was it. That was the only two that missed. How do you not throw a touchdown? That's all you had to do. So
Yeah.
that was 2 and 3. I think they were horrible. Um and 4, kind of the last one. I think Colorado was a big disappointment this week. Probably an unpopular opinion,
Yes.
but again, North Dakota State is really good. Like even Dion said to his like AD that scheduled it, he was like, "That's a really tough game to start the year." Um, they've won I think 9 titles in the FCS, and I think the
Yep.
last 6 in a row or something. So they do have talent. However, your defense looked trash this past week. I mean, trash. Their offense was very good. Like Shadur, Travis Hunter was very good.
Yep.
Um, but I'm going to give a letdown to him. So hopefully they got a big game this week, huge game, huge rivalry game too, at
Yep. Baby
Nebraska.
Mahomes.
Yeah. Um, so they were also in my teams of performance that did really well. Nebraska. I like them too, but um, so that's that. That's the two. That's all the teams that we think had a great weekend, had a lackluster weekend. Um, for you, best performance player, best player, like the best player that had the best performance this weekend. Who you got?
Yeah. So I've got two of them.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure at least one of them is in your list,
Probably.
maybe both. Number one, Cam Ward, uh, quarterback, Miami.
Okay.
Great performance. Really stepped up into the leadership role and was able to, do his thing.
Mm-hmm.
I think he can lead that team, which they're good. They're really good now. But I do think he can lead them to a title run. At least I think they'll win the ACC, and so that puts them in the playoffs, obviously. But I do believe that they can make a run and
Mm-hmm.
compete with the best of them. Second is Travis Hunter.
Okay.
Um, dude's just he's great. Um, I at the end of the game, he went up to Dion and was like, "Throw me the ball. We're going to win the game."
Yep.
And he made a great catch on the sideline. Um, there's not much to say. He missed 2 snaps the entire game playing both sides of the ball. Can he keep it up year round? We'll see. But, early front runner for the Heisman for me.
Oh, I like that. I like that. So actually, neither one were mine.
Oh,
Travis
okay.
Hunter, they both like if I was doing a top 5, probably, obviously. I did 2. Travis Hunter is probably a 3. I did 2. And again, they didn't go up against formidable opponents, but these dudes both had a game. So the Boise State running back, his name is
Yes,
Ashton
yes.
Genty. He rushed for 267 yards and 6 touchdowns. That that's like he stepped right out of
Video game
yeah,
numbers.
college football 25. He stepped right out of it and just stepped right on the field. So he's one, but I think my number one is, and I'm going to butcher his first name, but it's the Arizona wide receiver Tetero McMillan. I don't know if you saw this
Okay.
stat. He had 304 yards and 4 touchdowns as a wide receiver.
Nice.
Guess how many catches he had to get those yards?
4.
No. That'd have been incredible. 10.
Probably less than 10.
10.
Okay,
10 catches
nice.
to get
30
304
yards a
yards
catch.
and 4 touchdowns.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Although I
So
think he's
every
like,
other ball he catches, basically, it's a touchdown.
yeah. And I guess he is the number one true receiver besides Travis Hunter, I think, because Travis Hunter's in his own
Okay.
category, I think, but he's like number one.
Yeah.
And they actually ended up winning they only won 61-39, which to me isn't that great.
22-point win, though.
Yeah, over New Mexico. But those two were my top performances.
Yeah.
Those are crazy numbers.
Well,
crazy numbers.
That is. And I have an honorable mention. It's not
Ooh.
great stats, but I mean, it's still really good stats. I was kind of waiting. He was one that I thought you may say. But shout out to your wife, their team. Big win, of course, over Western. But honorable mention, Ryan Williams, the freshman, the 17-year-old freshman.
Yeah.
Won't even be 18 till April or some stupid that. 2 catches, 139 yards, 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
Or 189 yards, something wild.
Yeah, it was crazy.
2 touchdowns, 2 catches. Those are Randy Moss stats right there. So
pretty much
big things going to be on the up and up for him in the next 3 years. So
yeah,
that's pretty incredible. But he keeps it up like that. He may be wide receiver 1 in college football here soon. So
I agree.
I think he's great.
I agree. He's great. My honorable mention was the Nebraska quarterback, the Riola.
Oh yeah.
Nebraska's been itching for a good
he
quarterback.
He can sling it.
And he's it. He's good. Again, another test this weekend, so we'll see.
Yeah, he got the big NIL stacks.
Yes. Yeah. Big ones. So that's the best performance. Who's your player letdown performance? I'll go first on this one because it might be the same one. One of them.
Yeah.
So again, 2 for sure are the Notre Dame and Texas A&M quarterbacks because they screwed me. But my number one, I think I got to go with your Heisman hopeful winner. And one of them, actually both of them are your Heisman hopeful winners. Nussmeier and Dylan Gabriel.
Right.
Both did not show well this week. Not at all. Horrible.
Yeah.
So
that's Dylan Gabriel was mine.
Yeah, I figured so.
That's I expected big things from him. I believe two-time transfer. Coming here to finish out his college career. Expect big things from him, and he played well. Only missed 8 passes, but or something low. He was a low number, but to only lead your team to 24 points in a game where you should have blown the other team out.
Yep.
They lost the game with the line of scrimmage a lot, but also DJ Ungalo, DJU from Florida State.
Mm-hmm.
Awful.
Mm-hmm.
So they should bench him. And I seen this parody from ESPN. It was like Florida State head coach, whoever it is, said he wants to bench DJU, but he can't because he's afraid he'd mispronounce his name or something like that.
Probably about right.
So yeah, it would have been. He does. He's not their guy. But what else do they have right now with title hopes and aspirations? So they've got to turn it around like
Quick.
now and not lose another game. Yeah, and it sucks for them losing to Georgia Tech, and then this week I went blank on who they played, but they can't lose in Boston College,
Yep.
but they can't lose another game this year.
Nope.
So he's a big letdown for me.
Yep. Yep. I agree. Which leads us biggest letdown team performance. It probably for the both of us has to be Florida State. Started
Yeah.
0-2.
Yep.
I mean, that
Team
was the
is what,
biggest.
10
That's
in the
probably the
country.
biggest. Yeah, biggest letdown. So,
Yeah.
that's it. That's
Honestly, that's what I had them, and I also put Colorado on my list. Like, I was thinking about them like as a letdown because just the hype, around them and the aura around Dion and Shadur, Travis Hunter. Like, sure they won, but like,
wasn't convincing.
they're no. I think they win 5-6 games all year.
Yeah.
But if they played teams like the better teams like a Georgia or an Alabama, Texas, Michigan, Ohio State, whatever, they're losing by 30 or 40 easily.
At least.
They're not good enough to compete with those guys.
No. And that's kind of this weekend. We get a teaser of a very good matchup in Michigan and Texas. Early predictions, I think Texas beats them. I think Michigan, I know it's at home at the big house, but Texas looked good. Both quarterbacks look good at that.
Yeah.
So it's Texas's year for sure, and I think they're gonna beat Michigan. It's gonna be a close game, but they beat Michigan this week.
Yeah, I believe so too. And Michigan didn't look too good this weekend.
No, not as good as they lost a lot. I give them that, but so jumping fully into it to kind of end our segments here, the NFL, which you're rejoicing, is back. It's probably starting here in about 10 minutes. So it might be a little quick segment, but we want to catch all that stuff. But we got Kansas City, Baltimore doing battle tonight. I have said from the start, I think Baltimore is going to come in and beat them tonight, especially with this rain delay. Banner night is it's a lot of emotion, and I don't know. A lot of teams lose on this, and I think they're going to be the one, and Baltimore's going to come out hungry and want to beat them. So I think King Henry runs all over them tonight, and I think they win. I'm going to say convincingly. I'm not going to say pretty convincingly. I'm going to say 2 touchdowns, 14 points.
Ooh.
That's what I'm going to give them.
Ooh.
Yep.
I like it.
Yep.
I like it.
Yep.
I would love to agree with you. I would love to. But we just they lost banner night last year. I don't think they're going to want to lose again. Like, obviously you never want to lose, but I think tonight is something special for them. They're going to want it more than anything. So I think they're going to come out hungry. I think it heavily relies on their defense, stopping King Henry, Lamar, that running game. Let's see how that goes. I think it's going to be really good for them. But I think a lot of the pressure is going to be on their young wide receivers, on Rasheed Rice, on Xavier Worthy. I think they're going to have a ton of pressure on them. So if Juju's playing tonight, I don't know if he is or not, but if he's playing, he's going to have some pressure on his shoulders as well,
Hmm.
to kind of be Mahomes' like number one guy,
Yeah.
outside of Kelsey. Um, but it's going to take a lot. But I don't see them losing tonight. It's going to be real close. It may take a Harrison Butker field goal
Oh.
to win it, but it'll be something like that. So I'm going to go with the Chiefs over the Ravens.
Okay. All right. I'll I'll allow it. I mean, it's fine. You don't want to bet against Mahomes. I get it, and I usually don't either. But I don't know. Something feels right doing it tonight. So, although I
Yeah,
was heavy on the picks stats wise for the Chiefs, I think I think Baltimore is going to come in and tear them up a little bit on the ground. Um, and I
nice.
like the I think that's a good pickup. Juju Smith-Schuster, who's been there, who's won with them. That's a good pickup for them.
Yeah,
I mean, they needed somebody.
yeah.
So,
As long as he's got something left in the tank, he'll
yeah,
be
and I think
good.
he
Because
does.
obviously for New England, he wasn't any good, and that knee was giving him lots of issues.
Yeah.
So if he's got that thing worked out, it gives Mahomes, security blanket.
Yeah, and someone who's been there already. So, that's
Yeah,
huge. Um Other NFL, I mean, I'm super pumped for Sunday. It's it's the start of a new getting into our teams a little bit. We've already done a whole breakdown of everything, but it's getting it's getting crunch time. They showed a highlight from which I haven't watched it, and as a Bears fan, I should have. I haven't watched Hard Knocks yet. I was waiting for it all to come out, and so we'll probably
yeah,
watch it maybe this week sometime, maybe tomorrow. Um, but at the end, they have a song. It goes back in Chicago, and it's singing, and it's showing the city. It's showing like him. It's like Caleb Williams. I mean, and all the team showing Big Floose with the nice hair and the cleaned up a little bit. Uh, they're looking good. Um, so big hopes. I think we got it this weekend. I think Tennessee. I mean,
yeah.
I think we can
Good
handle it.
win.
And as the kids would say, did you hear the coach, Tennessee coach Glazen, as they say, over the Bears this in
Yeah,
his interview? He was just saying, "Yeah, I love what they're doing. I have high appreciation for Caleb Williams." He was like, "I love the team. I love what they've done." And it's like, okay, dude, you're playing us, right? Like, you're not on the
yeah,
team.
yeah, yeah.
So,
He's trying to get in your head, so get in your head
oh
a little
yeah,
bit.
yeah.
So
But I'm excited. It's a home opener too, which is huge, and the savior of the city
yeah,
is here. So go
that's awesome.
Bears.
It's
Go
it's
Bears.
cool to see. It's cool to see. Um,
Excitement.
well, yeah, yeah. From my point of view, it's not cool, but it is cool to see like our roles reversed a little bit. Like normally you're
Hope.
like, football season,
Yeah.
whatever. And now I'm like, football season. Like I
Mhm.
love football. It's my thing. But I will cheer on my Patriots and Jacoby Brissett as much as I can. But I don't have hope for playoffs this year. I don't
Yeah.
have hope for a title like I normally do, which haven't in a few years. So it sucks. I don't
I get it.
have my boy Brady and the Bucks to cheer for. Like I have nobody. So we're just hoping for a decent year in development,
Okay.
I guess.
That's
And so yeah, and so it's cool to see you have the joy and the excitement. I can see it all over you that you're
it's
ready for football season. So it's pretty cool, and I'm excited for you. So I'll be cheering for the Bears. They'll be my NFC team this year.
that's right. Hey, we appreciate it. We'll gladly accept the bandwagon people at this rate. So
There we
I don't know.
go.
It's uplifting for once, which he looks like the guy. He really does. And I hope he is. And we have a team around him. So we'll see for sure. I was watching who was I watching? I think I was watching Tim the Tapman play Madden today a little bit, and I saw the new Kickoff, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's a new thing. We could speak about on the show. Just quick. I just want to say, I think it's dumb what they did. I mean, I don't like it. It is what it is. But if I could only have Devin Hester now, like
Oh yeah,
unstoppable. Like, I mean, he did it when players were running at you. Now they're stopped. He's going to get a running start. Lightning gone. Like,
yeah.
it would have been insane. I mean, he's a Hall of Famer now. He would have been a double Hall of Famer. It might have been double what he would have gotten, if it stayed. So,
Hall of Famer while he's playing.
yes, exactly. Bring him back at this rate. I'm sure he could still
Put the
look
statue up while he's playing.
That's right. That's right. He's
He
our
could
guy.
probably get out there and return a couple of kicks.
He said he could. They interviewed him at I can't remember what they interviewed him on. He was on the side. Oh, the Canes game, the Miami game this past weekend. He was in Florida, and the woman was like, "Oh, congratulations. How does it feel?" And then they showed the highlight of him running one back in a Hurricane uniform. And then she said, "You still think you get out there and run one back?" He said, "Oh yeah, for sure." So I don't know. That'd be kind of cool. But real quick before we end it, we're kind of late. I probably should open the show on this, but kind of prayers to the Johnny Gaudreau, I think is his name. Is how you pronounce it, or Gaudreau. He's the hockey player. Him and his brother got hit on bicycles, which came out to be a drunk driver at the end. On the eve of their sister's wedding, which that's just both were standing in it. That's just stupid. Both have families. One had one on the way, I think. So prayers for that family. Hopefully they still had the wedding. I mean, I think they still would have wanted that to happen. But prayers for that family. And that's tough. I mean, losing two kids, sons, husbands, dads.
Yeah.
That's tough. So prayers to them. Huge shout out to them. And that sucks. So on that, football's back. So bring it up a little bit and enjoy the game tonight. And go Ravens tonight by 14.
Let's go Ravens. I'm going to cheer for them, even though I don't think they're going to win.
That's all right. That's all right. Hit him with the outro when you're ready.
All right, sounds good. We just want to thank everybody for tuning in, however, wherever you may be listening. If you like the content you're receiving, hit the like, subscribe button. YouTube, Twitter, Apple Pod, Spotify. See you next week. Peace.